not playing well. They forced us not to play well, and you got to give them a lot of credit. They're well coached. They got a good football team. We play them really tight. I mean, think of the last 6 years, how tight, except one game was out of the last 6 years. And we didn't play well enough to win tonight. We didn't deserve to win tonight. And I believe in life you get what you deserve. And we did not deserve to win. When we're not playing complimentary football, that's what it looks like. And it can be one side or the other side, but we pride ourselves on complimentary football, and we had our opportunities. We throw an interception in the first half. We're moving the ball. We don't get the fourth down. Felt like we needed to do something, and it only cost us 3 points, but it's worth it. I would do it again. I mean, we got to be able to get 4th and 1s. We missed a field goal. We throw an interception. We drop a touchdown that hits us in the chest. I mean, that is not how we've played the last month, but it's how we played tonight. On the defensive side of the ball, we give up a touchdown in the first drive, and we settle down, play a little bit better, hold them to a field goal, played really well for the majority of the second half, and then we give up some big plays. But again, we just couldn't find our groove, and that falls on my shoulders. So you got to give Purdue a lot of credit. It was a really close football game, but as I sit down and write the notes as the game goes on and you're making adjustments, we didn't deserve to win the football game. I mean, the only thing I think we probably tied in the turnover margin. I think we're probably 3-3. Is that what it was? 3. Okay, so we didn't put an advantage there. Tackling, missed tackling, making plays, explosive. We weren't that. So you live in that 22% world, as you all know, when you kind of share time with me. It's really hard to win. With all that said, we had opportunities in the second half to still win the football game, and we didn't. But you got to give him a lot of credit. So congratulations to Purdue, Coach Braum. He's a phenomenal football coach. They did a really good job tonight.
Take questions? PJ, can you update Mo's status and just the inability to run the ball? How much did they kind of throw you off?
Yeah. Mo was close. I think if we had a few more days, he would have been able to go. We kind of felt like he was going to go. Didn't think as we went longer it would continue to maybe stay as long as it did. He was out there pregame, as you saw him. He practiced yesterday, practiced Thursday. He practiced Wednesday. He was at practice on Tuesday. But again, we're always going to keep our players safe. And I listen to our medical people. I listen to our doctors. And they've got Mo's best interest when they're looking out for him, period. Not just winning a football game. He's one of the best tailbacks in the country. So if I say that, missing him doesn't hurt, I'd be lying to you. Obviously he's a really good player. But we've got to be way better. We got 2 other backs that are really talented, Trey and Bryce, that we didn't block very well up front. I think that's what you saw up there. I think they dominated the line of scrimmage, which, that's pretty much our MO. And if they do that, then it's a game like that. And we still had our opportunities. That's the thing. Still had our opportunities. But he'll be okay. Mo will be okay, and we'll have him back here shortly.
What do you attribute the slow start to?
Well, we dropped the check down, right? Everything's contributed to something, and there's no excuses, but everything's contributed to something. So everything affects everything. We punt on we're 3 and out. We drop a check down. We can catch puncture, maybe get a first down and go. We always talk about getting the first down first, and then let's get going. We throw an interception our second possession, right? 4th down, we don't get it, and that's 3 possessions. And next thing you know, we're down 10-0. So, I wish I could say, well, it was just this, but I haven't watched the film. We just didn't play well. And, all those details, Andy, we'll find out and iron out as we go through the bye week and get better.
What was your message to the team after the game?
Everything's in front of us. Everything's in front of us. I love this football team. We didn't play complimentary football tonight, but there was a lot of really amazing performances. But you got to put it all together as a team. And what you saw the first 4 weeks is complimentary football. And that's when we're at our best. But when you don't have that, that's what it looked like. And it was a fight the entire night. This isn't about just one side of the ball did well, one side of the ball didn't. There's a lot of factors that contributed to all of that. But my message to them is everything's still in front of us. We have to get better. And listen, nobody's perfect. Even if you have a perfect record, you're still not perfect, right? We got beat tonight, and we're going to learn from it, and we're going to respond. And that's what this team will do. That's what our coaches will do. That's what I'll do. That's what everybody in the building will do. But again, nobody's perfect. So we just didn't find a way to be able to find the way to win the game at the end, and they scored more points than we did.
Just looking for a spark, and were you okay with the play call?
Absolutely. You know what? Yes. I was okay with the play call, especially getting an extra hat with the blocker. I'll have to go back in terms of the scheme and just kind of look through that again. But we wanted to gain extra hat with them loading the box. And again, that's our short yardage package, and we do that in spring ball and trust the people who are going to be able to do it and trust the call. We just didn't execute. We got blown back. It didn't matter what call we were going to call their chip. We got blown back. So, that was unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, it's a spark. I mean, you basically have you punt and 3 and out. You have an interception. We got to get something moving, right? And you can't sit there and say, okay, well, if you backtrack now in hindsight, could you have done that? If you know the games, you don't know the game's going to go that way. If you punt the ball back and all of a sudden they go down there and they have 14 points, that's what's going through your mind. Okay, and knowing their offense, we're only 3 possessions in, they've scored on 1 of the 2, right? Okay, well, they moved down the field pretty good with that. So you've got to make decisions accordingly to what's happening in front of you. And that's why we made the call we did. Defense did a really good job and held them to 3 points. And that was the whole mission I had to have in the back of my head. If it doesn't go well, we got to be able to hold for a field goal. And is that worth it? And I said yes.
Is there any suggestion this week in practice that they might not have been as sharp?
No. No, not at all. I mean, they had a tremendous practice on Tuesday, really good practice on Wednesday. I mean, you can always dissect something. You can always, there's the reason. No, because we've had times we haven't practiced necessarily well and beat teams by 40. There's teams we came in, or times we practiced really well and won. Times we really practiced well and lost a hard-fought game. We did not execute well today, and that's what it came down to.
Coach, do you think it's never good to lose, but do you think looking forward, do you think it's good that this happened so early in the season that you guys mentioned earlier, so much in front of you? Do you think just what you guys have learned from what happened today, you think that'll benefit you guys going down the road?
Well, that's a great question. The externals sitting there go, well, they haven't been tested. They haven't had any adversity. Well, there it is, right? Here it is. And, this team's trained to respond to that adversity, and I know they'll do that for sure.
What did you like from your defensive backs today?
I thought they were really aggressive. I thought they did a really good job of getting people on the ground. I thought they anticipated really well. We caught the ball really well when it was thrown to us. They kept us in the game on the back end. We were able to get to Aiden a few times too, which made him uncomfortable in the pocket, but just gave up too many big plays, here and there. And it wasn't a ton. Remember, you kind of look at how many times both teams punted. It went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We'd get a big play, and then boom, something would happen where, we'd drop a pass, or we'd be in 2nd and long, and we'd run the ball and get a negative run, and it was like we were uphill all day.
Did you feel Quentin Redding gave you a spark in that return game?
Well, yeah, I got called back, but sure. The punt was really nice too, and he's getting there. It's his first time back there. I trust him back there. He's a great kid, works really hard. Did a great job on the kickoff return. That would have been really big for us, But, just too many mistakes, when it comes to whether it's a drop pass or, a missed tackle, not in the right gap, us as coaches, play call. We're going to look at everything, that's just part of what you do. When you do it in a win, you do it in a loss. But I don't question how hard they play, ever. They played their hearts out. We just got beat. They played better than we did.
What do you expect that response to be now that you head into your bye week?
Well, I think all of them just get back to work, right? We got a bye week, but we got to get healthy. We got to get some guys back. Guys are dealing with a lot of certain things that are fighting through things, just like everybody else in the country. But I expect a response that's really positive. Can't wait to get back on the field. There's so many veterans on this team that they know what's ahead of them. They know that one loss doesn't affect everything. We set expectations really high here, and that's okay. Expectations are a good thing. But we got, humble enough to know anybody can beat you. There it is, right? And I expect a tremendous response, attitude-wise and performance-wise, from our players. Not that they don't practice hard. I say this all the time. I told you that there's Tuesday practice. I'm like, all right, we got back down a little bit. But when you watch them today, we just didn't execute. And we talk about one-game championship seasons, It's not about the external, it's about the internal. And all you have to do is execute the game plan, how it needs to be executed. And why did we lose? We did not execute the game plan, how it was supposed to be executed. Simple. And we weren't able to do that tonight. That's credit to Purdue.
One or two more for Coach.
Can you speak to the continued growth of Daniel Jackson that you're seeing out there?
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Jackson is a really important player for us. I mean, you can tell he can play on the inside, plays on the outside. He's really aggressive. Does really well with the ball in his hand after the catch. And again, he's still, quote unquote, a young player, hasn't played a ton of football yet. So he's still gaining a lot of that knowledge, but we're going to rely on him heavily. You know, Michael Brown-Stevens and Dalen Wright and Clay Geary and Lemecki Brockington. And, you know, but we've got to keep playing better. Everybody's got to be able to play to their standard and take that very personal. And I know they will. But he's a dynamic player for us. He's going to be. And we trust him with a lot right now.
Go ahead.
How would you describe the issues on the offensive line today?
I got to go back and watch the film, Andy, just to be like before I give you an answer. I just know we got beat. And there were too many times that push was going backwards, which we're not used to. So you'll have to get me, next week on that when I can give you a more specific answer. But they did a really good job up front today.
Purdue's front show a kind of force on tape.
Well, I think that when you watch them, I told you, I think I said this. I thought they should have been 4-0. When you watch the Syracuse loss, I mean, it's really not a loss. It's really a win. And how at the end, it's a crazy way that they lost it. And then they played Penn State all the way to the wire and should have won that game at the end of the day. This could have been a 4-0 team, now 5-0 team that came in here. And I think everybody have a different perception of what's happening or what happened out there. We still need to play better. But up front, I mean, we knew that they would play really hard. I mean, we always do. We always get that type of effort between us and them. But we didn't play well enough. I mean, we didn't move them well enough. But they deserve a lot of credit. They're a really good football team, especially up front, and did what they had to do and had a good game plan against us, and we didn't execute. Thank you. Well, Sky about the Gophers. Thanks for your time, everybody.
Test 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Good. And test 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Perfect.
We had a flasher. That came right up to the window. I thought about that because I mean, we got acres.
Big window in your room?
Huh?
The flasher in the big window?
Yeah, we had one like a week ago.
Oh, it is possible.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
See, we had window when I was doing.
There's no secure fence or anything. No, it's open. Yeah. Like right off Viking.
Yeah, yep.
Because I used to work at the subway right behind there. Oh, yeah. And like you can see this stuff like, you just walk up there. That's what I'm scared of. Especially at night. Yeah.
I got some big pressed ham on big Alaskan.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting there at the assignment desk, you know, so I had something to do. Pressed hams. Thanks, dude.
Downtown.
You gonna steal any more of the guys' goodies?
That's not up to me, man.
I know Will Griner wants to come over to you. He said he was talking to Skinner.
I don't know if he passed the smell test. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
All day long.
Well, considering I had to,
Yeah.
come in an hour early and.
Yeah.
We don't want any more complaints.
No.
We don't want any more complaints.
No.
Oh,
It's way worse over there.
What was it? 1 year.
CCO is way more complaints. They got reason why shipping them out. There's plenty of.
Our new paycheck kicks in this week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We're still less than basically most of
Yeah.
the market. But, we got new cameras. So.
Is it retro? Do you get a retro check too?
No.
Oh. That'll be an extra $500 or something.
But, CBS, which is, once we get your ass kicked. seat, we'll jump into questions.
Mariano, how much do you kind of chalk up some of the issues that you guys had defensively just to miss tackles?
Yeah, I think, this is before watching the film. I think the biggest thing was missed tackles, and I think the majority of them came on that first drive, that first scoring drive. I know personally, I think I had two or three, and they were getting a little bit of movement up front, which allowed for, a little bit of space and for them to run the ball down the field and kind of set that drive up, that initial drive. And then I think we did a really good job of responding throughout the game and improving on that. And then that last drive, obviously, in that 4-minute situation, we needed to get the ball back to our offense, and we allowed that explosive run, and there was a few missed tackles on there. So that's something going into this bye week that we're going to have to really improve on and get better at moving forward as a defense.
How frustrating is it when you guys as a defense create all those turnovers on multiple times when you guys build momentum with those takeaways and you doesn't create points?
What was the question? I heard the...
How frustrating can it be when they're your
Yeah,
team?
no. I mean, we're not frustrated at all. Our job is to get the ball back for the offense, and their job is to be the offense, and our job is to get the ball back to them. So we're not going to sit there and go back and forth like, oh, they should have got more points from those takeaways. There was a lot of opportunities where we could have gotten more takeaways. There was 2 drop picks that I can think of personally, where if we get the ball there, our offense is in really good position to score. And then that initial drive, bowing up and stopping that field goal, and then that last drive of the game to get the ball back to our offense. I mean, we didn't stop them enough to allow for our offense to win the football game. So we're not going to sit there and go back and forth. That's the team's fault. And
You feel like was successful in the bulk of the game, the middle part of the game, just frustrating Aiden, getting those turnovers that he forced?
yeah, I think we did a good job of giving him different looks, giving him one picture and showing him another, and that created a few takeaways. The one that comes to mind is Newbin's interception. Just executing the game plan, getting off the field. We knew they were going to have some drives. I mean, that's just the nature of their offense. They're going to take shots down the field. They have a great quarterback. They have really good receivers, and you got to give them a lot of credit. So we knew that was going to happen, and we knew we were just going to have to bow up, and we did that throughout the majority of the game. But in order to win a football game, especially in the Big Ten, you have to start fast, accelerate in the middle, and finish strong. And I don't think we started fast, and I don't think we finished strong defensively. So the middle was the middle, but it has to be a complete game in order to be successful and win at the end of the game.
Mariano, what does the reset and the response look like now that you head into your bye week?
Yeah, I mean we're gonna come in tomorrow. We're gonna learn from the film. I know there's a tremendous amount to improve from, and a bye week is a perfect time because we have a little bit of extra time where we can go back to the indie and the fundamental aspect of the game, and kind of just reset that. We're gonna get healthy as a team. We're gonna go back to the basics and the fundamentals and just learn from this film and move on and know that what we plan on, what we have in mind and our goal as a team is still in front of us, and our response is going to be huge and critical moving forward.
How aware did you have to be of Charlie Jones today?
Yeah, he's a phenomenal receiver, and then having his quarterback back off an injury, we knew that he was going to be getting him the ball. So I thought we had a tremendous game plan put together by Coach Rossi of taking some of their threats away, but we have to do a better job of executing. And like I said, I think tackling, I think our swarm wasn't where the standard of our defenses is. So those are things that we have to just go back and look in the mirror, watch the tape, and see what our standard is and respond from it.
Off of 4 really strong games, did you feel like the preparation and work and practice was at the level that you guys wanted it to be?
Oh, sure. I mean, I'm going to sit here and say that I'm extremely proud of how this defense, and how this really team, but I'm going to speak on the defensive aspect, of how this defense prepares. It doesn't matter who we're playing. Coming off strong games, we knew that we have to continue to prepare better each and every week. And I'm not going to sit there and say that we didn't prepare. We prepared as best as we had all season long. But the preparation only takes you so far, and it only gives you a chance. You have to take that preparation and execute from it. So we knew what they were going to do. There was a lot of looks that we got where we knew the routes they were going to run, and we still just were a little bit lack of detail on the execution. I can think of a few examples where I knew exactly what the play was going to be, and we still just were off a little bit. And that's just comes down to execution and detail, and we're going to go back to the gridiron and keep working and work to fix that.
How challenging is it to process against an offense like this that has a lot of window dressing and creative designs like that?
Yeah, I think, like I said, preparation. That's what they're good at, and that's their MO. Is they're gonna give you window dressing. They're gonna take shots down the field. They're gonna have complex route complexes or route combos where they're gonna look to fit balls in zone windows and things like that. So we knew what to expect. I think we did a great job of communicating, a great job of executing the game plan for the most part, but there was just those cultural things as a defense, like tackling, swarming to the football, just the how, that I think we need to improve on. And that's not, us. It is us because that's what was put on the field today, but we're going to work to improve it.
This will be the last one from Mariano, then we'll bring in Tanner and Bradley.
I know you said you guys didn't tackle well, but you still got, you guys as a unit still managed to provide a lot of pressure. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. I think we actually need to do a better job of getting a little more pressure. There was a few scrambles for first downs that, caught up to us. But, we were able to create a little bit of pressure, get after them a few times. But that has to continue to get better. I know that they were able to get the ball off, and we knew that the D-line was going to have to create pressure to get him off his game, and we didn't do the best of the job of that. So that's why they were able to take some of those shots down the field, make some of those comeback throws on the sideline. We're going to watch the film and get better at that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for your time.
We're good? Coming through clear. Can you see if there's levels? Levels? We're good? All right. Cool.
Tanner, Bradley, and Jordan, take a seat. We'll just jump into questions.
Tanner, PJ talks so often about complementary football. Where did you feel like was lacking in the run game today to keep you from having that?
I don't think it was just one part of our offense. I think I don't think I played well enough, clearly, and I think that doesn't allow you to stay ahead of the sticks. And I have to be better for sure to give us a better chance to be successful.
Jordan, what did you feel like was the issues on the opening drive and then the late drive?
The tackling was definitely an issue in the beginning, but it did pick up after that. We just got to start earlier instead of having the drive go down the field and just starting earlier within the first drive.
Jordan, what do you think helped the defense sort of settle in after that first drive in the middle portion of the game?
Coming together, making sure that we were all on the same page, just letting the first drive go because that can get to people in their head and stuff like that. But so long as we keep telling each other like we still have a whole game left and being able just to play us and do what we got to do.
Brevin, how do you describe the collective mood or situation with the team?
It's going to be a good thing for us coming together, and thing that coach always tells us is you got to be humble enough to know you can lose to any team and confident enough to know you can beat any team. So I'm excited to get back to work with this group.
Tanner, what do you take from this going forward?
I got to learn from it. Every play, every situation. Got to prepare a lot better. We got to get a lot better. I got to get a lot better. We'll learn from it as a team. Got to learn from it as a unit. And then, there's a lot of things we got to get better at, and we're going to attack this next week.
Tanner, did you feel like the standard was met during the week?
Yeah, I mean, I think our guys were locked in and, had a elite week of practice. I think, we can always be better. And, today, clearly, we got to get a lot better. And, again, that starts with me. I didn't play well enough for us to win this football game today. And so that's a tough pill to swallow. But that's something that I got to look back and understand of how I can get better to help us be able to win football games.
Tanner, I know you have a lot of faith in Bryce and Trey, but I mean, how tough is it to learn before the game that you're not going to have more today?
Yeah, I mean, he's a huge leader of our team and a huge part of what we do, and we trust whoever's in there. So it's just always a next man up mentality, and we trust those guys. They've both had a lot of reps and have done fantastic things. So,
I know you're close with Mike Brown. Do you put your arm around him after that play right before the half?
Yeah, definitely. It kind of goes back to even the pick I dropped against Colorado. It's a play that I've seen him make hundreds of times, and I know he'll make it the next time. It's all about response in this program, and I know he will for sure, and we'll be right there with him. We got his back every time. Tanner, did you feel like the physicality of their DBs created some challenges for the passing game today?
The hats off to them. They played really hard, especially on the outside. They had they played very aggressive, and it all comes down to being able to execute better. But they did a great job, and we got to get a lot better and learn from how we can be better.
Jordan, what do you anticipate the response to this team be like now that there's still a lot of season left and you head into your bye week and a chance to kind of reflect on things here after 5 games?
Like Brett said, in this program, the main thing we do is respond. That is what we have to do, especially coming off this loss. But like Tanner said, hats off to them. They played very well. We just gotta start fast, start in the middle, and finish strong. And I feel like we didn't do that today.
Brevin, what did Purdue's defensive front do to make it tough to run today?
They had a lot of stunts, a lot of stunting up front, but I feel like we handled it pretty well, adjusted at halftime very well. At the end of the day, just fell short on the execution side of the ball. So.
Any more questions? All right, thank you, guys.